everybody, it is the Law Gnome and welcome back to another Funko Pop update. If you are new to my channel, let me just say welcome. It is a pleasure to have you, and for all of you returning, thank you very much for sticking with me and allowing me to share my thoughts on the Funko world, as well as giving you showcases on some of my newest pieces in my collection. So, this month's intro is gonna be an interesting one because there really isn't much to say. Things have been ultra quiet. There have been a couple of assumptions and a couple of small reveals that really weren't much to really write home about. So there's a lot of skepticism in the air, there's a lot of thoughts in the air because there's been some not so great news coming out from the world of Funko about how other big names in the company have been leaving, and especially now with the fact that Funko does not have Brian Mariotti or Mike Becker anymore, really makes me wonder what's going to be happening with this company in the next couple of years. I mean, now granted, they saw some of their best production in 2024, and from what I've heard, 2025 is off to a great start, but there's still a lot of things to think about, and a lot of things to make a lot of people out there feel uncertain, and that's exactly what we need in the world right now. Lots of uncertainty, am I right? Still, there are a couple of very interesting things that were announced that I am going to be adding to my collection, but it's going to definitely be a while until I showcase them. But that's all I pretty much have to say. I really don't have much because everything has just been so quiet, even on the front of all of the people in social media that bring the Funko Pop news to us. I mean, I think if anything, the biggest news that was announced this week was the fact that next week we're going to finally see the reveals of the James Gunn Superman line. So I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to seeing that, and chances are there probably may be spoilers based on the fact that they always seem to do that. I mean, they made a big spoiler when it came to the Thunderbolts line just about a week or two ago, and we now officially saw the main antagonist that they've been trying to keep hidden in the trailers, and he ain't hidden anymore, so now we know who it is, but then I already know who it was, and I already knew what he was going to look like. So that's that. And with that in mind, everybody, just sit back and let's see how my collection has been going. So for today's video, I wanted to finally feature a couple of pops that I've actually had for the last few months, and I think I've said this in my videos over here regarding my Funko updates, and possibly even in other videos, about how one of my favorite film directors in all of Hollywood is Edgar Wright. He actually is my favorite director. I love everything that he does, and I'm always excited to extend my love and appreciation for him in regards to anything that comes out, and that is including Funko. And I've got 3 pops here that are based on some of his work and creations, so I'm very excited to talk about them today. The first 2 are not actually his creations, they are actually Brian Lee O'Malley's creations. They are Scott Pilgrim and Ramona Flowers from the Netflix show Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, which was an anime that came out on Netflix, I think about a year ago. Really could use a second season, but of course, this was also produced by Edgar Wright, and he, of course, made Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which was based on the original Scott Pilgrim graphic novels from Oni Press. And to me, that's Edgar Wright. That's why I had to add these versions of Scott Pilgrim and Ramona Flowers into my collection, even though I already have them from the original film. And I absolutely love them because they are truly based on the Brian Lee O'Malley graphic novel style, especially the Scott Pilgrim, because the pose that he has is right off of the first cover of the 7-issue Scott Pilgrim graphic novel set. So it was just such a cool thing to actually see Scott Pilgrim in this display. I love the hair, I love the details on the back of his jacket, as well as, once again, the pose. That's definitely the best part. Ramona, also really great. I love the colors, especially on her hair, the pinks and purple, and of course the little bag, which, if you are a Scott Pilgrim fan, you know it's actually in the bag, looking very casual. So glad that they actually made these. They didn't have to make these, but I loved the anime, I loved the movie, I love Scott Pilgrim, so to not have these 2 in my collection would have been a sin. Now, the next one is a very interesting one because It is based on the Funko Fusion game, and if I'm not mistaken, please put in the comments below, guys. I think this game is officially done with, so that was a very short-lived thing. So they made a series of pops, and in the Funko Fusion game, there are pop culture characters. You could play characters like He-Man and stuff like that, and dinosaurs from Jurassic Park. But of course, one of the few series of characters that were in here were a couple of characters from the Edgar Wright films. Now, I have some Edgar Wright pops outside of my Scott Pilgrims. I have the original 2 blood splatter Shaun of the Dead pops, as well as Baby from Baby Driver. But one of the characters that I always wanted was Simon Pegg's character Nicholas Angel in Hot Fuzz, and they never made a Hot Fuzz line. So when they announced that there was going to be a Funko Fusion line, and one of the characters was in fact going to be Nicholas Angel from Hot Fuzz, I said, this may be the only chance that I will ever be able to get a Hot Fuzz pop in my collection, because it is one of my favorite movies, and I think I called it even the best movie of 2007. I wouldn't be surprised if that was true. So, just having this pop in my collection was amazing, and I love it because it's him jumping in the air with 2 guns, and the details are glorious. The whole getup, especially with the 2 big guns in his backpack, that's the highlight, the icing on the cake. This is a perfect pop, and again, I'm also a big Simon Pegg fan, so glad to actually have it. And it also did come with in-game content, but I think it's irrelevant these days. Other than that, so glad to have these 3 pops in my collection. This sort of kind of completes my Edgar Wright collection. I doubt they're going to be making Last Night in Soho pops anytime soon. But that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Let me know in the comments down below what some of your big grabs were in the past month. Let me know if I missed anything. Chances are I've missed a lot of stuff, but the comments are usually silent. Not many people really leave comments around here letting me know their thoughts, and I think it's a mixture of the fact that everyone's just busy, and Funko is just not the big thing it used to be anymore. I'm still managing to find little treasures here and there, but I'm definitely going to say I'm not surprised, and I'm not going to disagree. Funko is definitely not the shining star that it used to be. But for now, I'm just going to keep finding the things that I truly do love and appreciate from them, and we'll always have some cool things to share. So until then, I will see you in the next one. If you enjoyed the video you just watched, feel free to leave a comment. Also, feel free to subscribe if you want to be up to date with our latest videos. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next one. Actions speak louder than words.